How to introduce yourself to a guy. The guide to impress any guy. Noticed someone attractive, but don't quite know how to say hello. Learn how to introduce yourself to a guy and then see where it goes. Saying hi has never seemed quite so scary or involved until you try to figure out how to introduce yourself to a guy. With technology as our go-to for introductions nowadays, an old-fashioned in-person meeting is pretty darn terrifying. So how do you break down that fear and say hey? There are a number of ways when it comes to knowing how to introduce yourself to a guy. From a meet cute, to the classics, or even including friends in the plan. But why is an introduction so hard? Because sadly, first impressions do matter. Although if you bomb you can always make up for it later, a guy always remembers how you first met. And if you came across confident and cute, you're golden. But if you came awkward and awkward, that picture can stick in their mind for a very long time. What is the first step to introducing yourself to a guy? Well, before you go in with any tips or methods, take a deep breath. Nerves are totally normal in this situation, but nerves and panic are not the same. Having a nervous smile or laugh is endearing. Hyperventilating, not so much. So have a friend give you a pep talk, listen to an empowering song, or just stop thinking of the worst-case scenario and do it. Best outcome is you'll exchange numbers, the worst you never see them again. But remember you're only just meeting, so the sting of rejection should not last all too long. Learn how to introduce yourself to a guy. Not to put too much pressure on your first meeting, but an introduction can be a preview of the future. If you make an iffy joke he may think you're not very nice. If you come off as cocky, you could leave a bad taste in his mouth, so to speak. So no matter what step you decide to take, choose an introduction that represents you and how you want to present yourself to a potential mate. Now, we'll get to how to introduce yourself to a guy. Number 1, practice. Just as everything else in life, practice makes perfect. So if there is a regular at your local bar or a guy who works in your building that you've been dying to talk to, do a trial run first. Introduce yourself to some guys that don't make you so nervous so you know what to say. Or even test your intro on a friend. This gives you a chance to see what works and what doesn't. It also allows you to see exactly what you feel comfortable saying. Making a plan helps calm your nerves and feel that you have some control. Just don't read from or memorize a script. This is a guy, not a potential employer. Number 2, have confidence. This is pretty much a go-to for all parts of the dating scene. Having confidence and pride in yourself is always an attractive quality. That is not to say you should go in expecting this guy will fall for you. But rather, just don't go into it expecting to be rejected. If you believe in yourself, others believe in you. And when you are feeling calm you make others calm. If you are wildly nervous when chatting with someone new, you won't put them at ease. And when you're making a first impression, you want this guy to feel comfortable with you, not on edge. Number 3, ask a mutual friend for help. Yes, this may scream high school, but it works. If the guy you want to meet knows a friend or acquaintance of yours, that is you're in. If you can get them to introduce you, the nerves immediately drop. You now have something in common and a third person to sort of use as a buffer of sorts. And if you're really lucky this person will talk you up to the guy you're crushing on, getting you an even better first impression. Number 4, introduce yourself to his friend. If you don't know any of this guy's friends, change that. If you see a guy you really want to chat up, but are crazy nervous about it, introduce yourself to someone else they might be with. This lowers your nerves, because the person you say hi to isn't the one you're nervous about. From there you can make your way to number. And have that new person introduce you to your dream guy. Number 5, be yourself. Yes, this is cheesy, but it is good advice. I know that introducing yourself to a new guy can be terrifying. You don't want to make a fool of yourself or be rejected. But you are more likely to be turned down or say something wrong if you are not being yourself. When you go in with confidence in yourself, that ease and comfort is obvious. So whether you go in with a pickup line, mentioning the weather, or asking him if he comes here often, be true to yourself, or the introduction won't go well. Number 6, get off your phone. We rely heavily on our phones, But when it comes to human interaction, they have no place until you're exchanging numbers. If you're wondering how to introduce yourself to a guy, put your phone away. By clinging to social media or even a blank screen as a guard, you appear closed off and disinterested. Walk up to a guy, say hello, ask a question, or what have you. But carry on a conversation. Ignore texts, calls, and notifications. Just be in the moment and enjoy it. This allows you to see how you actually feel about this guy you just met, without distractions, and vice versa. Number 7. Don't make it a business transaction. It can seem easier to get in, get out, and be done. But what is romantic about that? If you're nervous and want the introduction to be over with, this guy is not going to get a sense of you at all. So, bypass what you do for a living and your 5-year plan. Flirt, laugh, and show your personality. It is called an introduction because you are introducing yourself, not your resume. Show some emotion and offer some personal information. Maybe not where you have a suspicious mole, but rather where your dream getaway is. Number 8. Remember to smile. If you're nervous, you can forget to smile. But if you look scared, this guy probably won't be receptive to you. So, remember to smile and keep things light. Just like laughter, smiling is contagious. If you smile, he is likely to also. Smiling puts people at ease, makes them feel happy, and lets them know you're having a good time. So without overdoing it, or straining your face, smile. You could be potentially meeting your future boyfriend. Number 9. Bite the bullet. If all else fails or you're still too darn nervous to think about any of this, just do it. Your nerves may seem like they aren't going anywhere, but if you take a deep breath, let it out and walk up to this guy and say, "Hi. I'm X. I noticed you, and thought I would introduce myself." There is no going back. Not only is this bold and full of courage, but the guy will be so impressed by you he may just ask you out right then and there. Plus, if you've been making eyes at each other, he was probably hoping you would do just that. Number 10. Get him to introduce himself. Just like getting a guy to ask you out, you can get him to introduce himself. Without fear of saying something wrong, walk up to where he is and make yourself known. Order a drink from the bar next to him, drop your purse, or even ask if he has cell service. This gives you an in and gives him an opening to start or continue the conversation. So the pressure is off of you, and you are free to let him take the lead. Knowing how to introduce yourself to a guy you're interested in is an art every woman should master. With confidence, courage, and just a touch of swag, you can be perfect when it comes to doing it right. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.